shelling. We are on Keewaydin this evening. It's a little bit breezy and the boys are fishing, catching some good fish. It is high tide here, as you can see, and it's a little bit wavy, but I'm going to tell you what, this is another great example of why sometimes it's great to shell at high tide when the waves are rolling in. So I'm down here at the southernmost tip of Keewaydin. So here is the edge, and you can see Marco Island in the distance. So we're just north of Marco, and you can see here that the waves are pushing all of these shells and this shell shelf right here all into this big shell pile. So we are going to shell the shell pile. You guys know I'm a breakline sheller. I love shelling breakline. If you can see here, there's just so much goodness rolling in, but unfortunately the waves are just a little bit too strong for me to see, and by the time I see something, a wave crashes and I can't grab it. Ooh, there was an alphabet cone. Did you see it? Oh, let me see if I can grab that alphabet cone without dropping my phone. There you go. Okay, so I am very much a breakline sheller. It is my favorite place to shell by far. I've always had a good eye. This is how I learned to shell years ago, and this is just what I do. So even though this is like pristine breakline shelling right now, it's just unfortunately not great conditions for it because of the waves, and it's just really, really hard to see. If I was more patient, I would probably be standing here looking for more alphabet cones and fun shells here. But I'm gonna come down here and we're gonna shell a little bit of this shell pile. So I just wanna show you guys, so you guys can see these conchs. The water is actually really clear, the visibility is really good. It's just wavy, so unfortunately it's just creating a little bit too strong of a current to really be able to see the shells really well. And like I said, by the time I see something, usually it's too fast and it's gone. So here's the beginning of the shell shelf here. We're gonna come up here and just kind of take a peek. I already started kind of shelling. I wasn't even planning on doing a video. I actually took a walk to make a couple phone calls, and I don't even have my shell bag. So if you are out shelling and you find yourself collecting shells and you don't have a shell bag, here's what you do. Number one, you can use your hat. So take off your hat and use your hat, fill it with shells. Number two, I have my shirt tied right now, but you can use it as like a little apron so you can like kind of cup your shirt and use it, just put your shells in there like an apron. Or you can grab a pen shell, which I did here. This is just half of a pen shell, and you can use that to just pile shells on there. So you guys can see I already found a couple really pretty shells in here, and we are going to continue shelling. So let's go. So if you guys can see, like the water is kind of pushing shells up right here, and this is where it's kind of piling up. So that's where I like to go, right here, where it's kind of pushing all the shells up at like the highest point of the pile, if you can see that. So that's where I like to go and shell, and that's where you guys are gonna find some cool stuff. Now, I get asked all the time, like, you know, I'm coming to Sanibel, or, oh, here, look at this. Looks like a little Calvert Smearax. A little beat up, but that's kind of a cool find. I get asked all the time, like, I'm coming to Marco Island, I'm coming to Sanibel, I'm coming to Southwest Florida. Like, where do I go to find XYZ shells? Guys, it's really hard to tell because, like, sometimes, here's a piece of the alphabet right here. Sometimes, you know, the beach warrants tinies, and sometimes the beach warrants big shells, and sometimes you're gonna get a mixture. It's really hard. It's like fishing. Like, there's certain areas where, you know, you can go that you're more likely to catch snook, or you're more likely to catch a certain type of fish. And that's the same way. There are certain places where you're more likely to find tinies, like Lighthouse on Sanibel is a fantastic place to find tiny shells. But you're not guaranteed. It really just depends on the weather and the tides and how the waves are moving. So it's really hard to say, but Keewaydin here it can be really hit or miss. I've come here where there are really phenomenal shells, and I've come here where there's not a whole lot of shells, and the tide is really dependent on your success too. A lot of times, you know, low tide traditionally is going to be best. Ooh, I just saw a little tulip, and oh, there it is. Low tide is going to be kind of like your best friend for shelling, just because typically speaking, the water is lower. You'll be able to see better. Usually the waves are calmer, so you'll be able to see better. More stuff's going to be uncovered, and that type of thing. However, you guys know me, I shell anytime I can get to the beach, and tonight the boys wanted to come fishing. This is prime time for fishing. Sometimes when the tide is rushing out or rushing in, it's not great for fishing. So we are here fishing, and I am here. Here's a little cone there. I am here shelling, and I'm finding some amazing shells. So you just really have to go to whatever beach you're going to. You might have to walk a little bit. So had I crossed, if I had crossed way down there might not be a lot of shells down there. I don't know because I didn't walk down there. But if you walk down here, all of a sudden you have this ginormous shell pile of shells that is really amazing. And look, I mean, they're just rolling in. They're just coming right to me. I don't even have to really dig and look that hard. They're just rolling right in. Oh, here's a little wormy. You guys know I love the worm shells. Those are pretty common here on Keewaydin. So if you're a worm shell fan, this is a great place. Little coral pieces too. I love the little coral pieces. Hopefully you guys can see. See if we can find anything fun here that's buried. And you know, if you're digging for shells too, sometimes I'll find like a bigger shell. I'll find like a piece of an oyster or a piece of a pen shell, and you can use this to bake so you don't tear up your hands. See if we can find anything cool in here. Woo! Oh, that wave almost got me. So let's see, I mean, you know, you just kind of have to dig through, and every once in a while, you'll find something good. Ooh! Look, true tulip. Shut the front door. Look how pretty. Oh my gosh. Look how pretty this beautiful orange true tulip is. So there's the true tulip and the banded. The bandeds are more common. I'll show you them together. Here's a banded on the left, and then the true is on the right. So pretty. Oh, that's exciting. That's a really cool find here. I love those true tulips. True tulips, alphabet cones are always, you know, on the top of the list for shelling. Obviously, Genonias too, but Genonias are pretty rare. Here's a big piece of the true tulip too. Look at this. Lots of big chunks of shells here too. And I've also been finding a lot of, oh, it baked me out. I thought this cardita was an outfit cone. There's a lot of horse conchs here too. So this is also a great place to find the big horse conchs, the giant horse conchs. They do breed out here. And a lot of times we'll find the little babies as well. So that's always really fun. And another thing I get asked a lot in comments is, how come you're not picking up all the shells? Guys, like, I have so many shells. I send out most of my shells in shell boxes, or I sell them, or I give them away, or I craft with them, but I don't need like, oh, this is another piece of an Alfie. I don't need all the shells, and I would literally be here all day if I was picking up every single fighting conch that I saw, or every single cardita, or every single scallop. So I'm just kind of selective in what I pick up. I don't need to pick up every single shell, and my episodes would literally be hours and hours long, which I'm sure some of you totally wouldn't mind. Here's a little horse conch right here. I know a lot of you are literally screaming at your monitor right now saying, yes, hours of shelling, do more hours of shelling. But at the end of the day, like, I just don't need to pick up every single shell. So I know I pass up a lot of shells. part of the fun of this is it is virtual shelling for you guys to shell too. Oh, here's a beautiful little gaudy nautica there, or moon snail. I thought I saw a whelk too. There it is. Here. Always check to make sure there's no critters in there. We only take empty shells. But that is why I don't pick up every single shell. And honestly, sometimes I don't see every single shell. There has been many episodes where you guys have commented, oh my gosh, there's a Wenzel trap, or oh my gosh, there's a alphabet cone, or a true tulip, and I'm so busy filming and looking straight in front of me, trying to focus in on the camera, that I don't see what's going on around me. So there's a lot of times when I'm sure you guys are screaming at the computer monitor because you see something that I just don't see. So that's kind of the fun of virtual shelling too. So I'm glad you guys are able to come along with me and check it out. And I know this is probably loud, so if you're not somebody that likes the sound of crunching shells, then you probably won't like this episode very much. But unfortunately, it gets a little loud sometimes when you're virtual shelling. You hear the shells, you hear the wind. Ooh, this is a pretty dark little worm shell too. You guys know I am not National Geographic. I don't have a lot of fancy equipment, so sometimes it is a little windy, or it is a little blurry, and I do apologize for that, but I do the best I can with what I have. Checking up to make sure the boys are doing good. They're catching some fish over there. Maddox caught a really big jack a little while ago, so that was exciting for him. That was his first big jack. Oh my gosh, tide is still coming in. Maybe anything else here. So you guys can see, so I want to show you, like, look at all these cones. You guys see all the big cones? Like, they're just, I mean, they're literally just washing in. Oh, here's a pretty, yeah, here's a rose. So here's a lace and a rose murex. I know the sun is not at a great angle because it's setting, but this is really a pretty rose murex. Missing the tail, not a super long tail, but how pretty. And look at the pink tip on that, so pretty. My makeshift shell bag is getting a little bit full here, but we're still doing okay. Sorry, there we go. Sorry, I think I got my camera turned around a little bit there. Blooper. Anyhow, hopefully you guys can see that, like, you don't even have to do digging. You can just literally sit here and the shells will just come to you. I mean, just stand here and every wave that comes in will uncover some shells, uncover some, bring some in, uncover some, bring some in, and it's all being pushed down this way. Super fun, super easy. If you're somebody that can't really walk very far, you don't have to. Here's a little horse conch right here. Little baby horse conchs have that little white tip. They grow out of that as they get older. But yeah, I mean, I really don't have to even work as hard as I was working. I can just sit here, or stand here rather, and just let the shells come to me. Here's an olive. Not a whole lot of olives here, I've noticed. I'm not sure why, but I have noticed that there's not an overabundance. Worm snail. There's a little tulip there. Piece of a worm snail there. Oh my gosh, so fun. I mean, I could just literally stand here. There's another horse conch. And sometimes you just have to grab a handful. If you see a shell, sometimes you just have to grab a handful and hope you get it, because sometimes it's really tough to just grab each individual shell when it's this baby. Like if you see orange, or you see a spot, or you see a conch, sometimes you just gotta just go for the handful and see what you get. I saw a tulip somewhere here. Ooh, I missed it. There's an olive. Where'd the tulip go? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's so hard when you lose them. Where did it go? Does anybody see the tulip? Looking for the tulip. I think I lost it. That's how fast though, like you see something and then it's like gone. Oh, maybe we'll find it again. And I love how clear the water is. Like this is like literally my favorite. Look how pretty this pond is. So pretty. I kind of want to keep this pond and I'm kind of out of hands. Kind of out of room in my 10 shells for any more shells, but it's so addicting. I mean, I will literally come out here and be like, oh, I'm not gonna shell. I'm not gonna bring a shell bag. Listen, rule number one when going to the beach, always take your cell phone because you never know you're gonna have an emergency, need to call somebody, maybe take a picture of something. Rule number two, always take a shell bag because, oh, look at this olive. That would have been a really, really big one. Because you literally, if you're a sheller, you will be picking up stuff, whether it's driftwood, whether it's beach stones, whether it's sea glass, whether it's shark's teeth, whether it's seashells, whether it's egg casings. Like, you never know what you're gonna see and what you're gonna find, and you're gonna want something to put it in. So, take it from me, bring a shell bag with you, put it in your pocket, put it in, you know, strap it on your back, wear it on your shoulder, just bring it with you so you have it. But if you're like me, and you didn't bring a shell bag, you should. Like, what do you think? Alright, I'm gonna come over here, so it kind of sweeps around like this. And this is still such a great shell pile. I mean, I could shell this shell pile for another hour easily. I mean, there's so many shells here. There's so many pretty scallops here. I mean, look at that scallop. Beautiful. There's a whelk. I mean, I could literally stay here for another hour. Conchs. Coral pieces, worm snail. I mean, look at this. Like, there's just shells everywhere. But I'm gonna come over here. Oh, here's a pretty olive too. Look at that pretty olive. Ooh, and here's, see, I can't stop. It's like I can't, every time I try to leave an area, here's a little apple murex right here. Here's a pretty coral piece. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here. The sun's going down. We're gonna be losing some light. So as you get around this corner here, it kind of dies down a little bit. The problem is the sun is not overhead, so it becomes a little bit tricky to see. I don't know if we'll be able to see anything cool or not, but we'll just check this break line out here real quick. Give you guys a quick little view of the sunset and the shell pile, and still just rolling shells up. I mean, rolling them in. Give you guys a quick scan so you guys can see. There's a little lace murex right there too, I think. Here. Another pretty olive. We've got some visiting friends. Little egret. So here you guys can see that the water calms down quite a bit and you're able to kind of see a lot more and a lot better, a lot more clearly. There's a little, looks similar in color to a juvenile horse conch, but a little bit different in shape. Let's see what else we can find here. There's some conchs. I see lots of conchs. So many conchs. I mean, guys, like, this is why I don't pick up all the conchs. I'd be here all day. Here's our little bird friends shelling with us. I mean, there's just so many. Oh, here's another, little beat up horse conch there. But down here, this is all such good stuff. There are so many amazing shells in here. And you can see, I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but this ledge drops straight down. So right here, it's nice and shallow. And right here, it drops right off. Very, very deep water right here. Hopefully you guys can see. So be very, very careful shelling this corner. This is not a place that I snorkel right here due to the water and the riptide and the undertow. So I only shell the brake line unless it's like dead calm. I won't snorkel here otherwise because it literally drops straight off right there. But this is a great, great place to shell the brake line. It is a little bit wavy, but are you gonna move or am I gonna walk right into you? Yeah, it's just a little bit wavy today. Look at all these up here. You don't even need to shell the brake line. You can just come up here and shell the beach. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Look at all these awesome shells. Such good shelling here. What a great, great shelling afternoon and a beautiful sunset to go with it. This little rough scallop. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this super impromptu episode here on the Virtual Shelling Network on my YouTube channel. There are the boys. They are still fishing. We're going to be heading back soon. The sun is going down. I'll give you a view of the beautiful sunset here at the southern point of Keewaydin Island. If you have any questions, comments, or requests, as always, please reach out to me at virtualshelling@gmail.com, or you can comment below this video. Thank you so much for subscribing and for your support. I wish you all a shell-tastic day, and I will see you again soon. Bye!